If you have clicked on this video, then you are probably procrastinating. Maybe a lot, maybe a little. You know it, or you're starting to see signs of it. And if this is the case, you probably fall under two categories. Either passive procrastination or active procrastination. If you don't know what these are, I'll explain them to you right now. If you're passive procrastinating, then you find yourself delaying a task because you have trouble making decisions and acting on them. Whereas if you are an active procrastinator, you delay a task on purpose because you like to work under pressure. You feel that it gives you a boost of confidence, right? Or a feeling of challenge. Neither way is better, not the passive or the active. Procrastinating is bad in general. These two groups can be broken into 6 subdivisions, which I will reveal deeper into the video. But let me explain who this video is for and who I am making this video for. This video is for teenagers or for 20, 30-year-olds that are still in a phase where they aren't mature enough to realize to the fact where they have to get laziness out of their life and kill it off. For me, I realized this fact early on, and now I'm here to spread it with you guys too, to help you get off this path and really take control of your life. Remember, there's one thing that I will always pursue. If it's not money, women, drugs, all those other things, it's killing laziness out of my life. So now I will move on to explain to you 15 reasons why people say that they procrastinate. I will debunk those reasons. I will give you solutions so that you can start to actually improve. But first, we need to lay down the foundation. What is procrastinating? You might say it's saying you're going to do something and not doing it, which is true. But a real concrete definition of procrastinating is a form of self regulation failure characterized by the irrational delay of tasks despite potential negative consequences. What this means is that you will have something to do or that you want to do or need to do. You will delay that task for something else or just some nonsense thing, knowing what would happen, knowing the end goal and the outcome, and is still deciding not to do what you have to do. And what I mean by have to do, I don't mean by it's a school assignment or it's something that your mom gave you to do or your dad gave you to do. I'm not talking about something that people are giving you to do. I'm talking about things that you give yourself to do. Like, yeah, it might start off with tasks from school that you procrastinate, tasks from your parents, like taking out the garbage. It might start off with those things. But then as you grow up and you have to split from your parents and really take charge of your own life, it's going to come to the point where why are you procrastinating making money? Why are you procrastinating pursuing your goals? If you want something, you got to take it. There's only so much time we got. Use it wisely. Now, for the first reason people say that they procrastinate, something that you would hear from your peers or even you have said it yourself is that it's a lack of motivation. Even I have said this before, but in order to overcome this, you got to realize that there is no right time. When people usually say motivation, when you usually say it's a lack of motivation, you're hinting at it's not the time because I don't got the motivation right now, so I should wait until I have that motivation so I can actually do this task. There is no such thing as a right time. It's either you do it now or you do it later. And if you do it later, you're just wasting time. If you do it now, you'll get it done and then go on to do the things that you would have done if you procrastinated and you didn't do the task right away. Which one's better? Spending the whole entire night, the whole weekend just chill, relaxed, knowing that you ain't got nothing else to do, or wait until Sunday night, knowing throughout all that time you got the thought just floating around your head, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. Then you get to Sunday night, you got an hour left. Now you rushing, ideas popping into your head while you're doing it, and you can't jot it all down on paper because you're rushing for time. It's just stupid. Now, for the solution, just you have to discipline yourself. And what I mean by this, most of us have gotten disciplined by our parents growing up. When we did something bad or when we didn't do something that we needed to do. Like say we take out the garbage, or we say we didn't take out the garbage. They're gonna take away our games or whatever we were doing that stopped us from doing that. It's discipline. You need to be able to discipline yourself in your own mind. If your mind has gotten you to this point where you're watching this video, then that means that you gotta stop listening to your mind. One thing I've heard is that if your mind has gotten you to the point where you need help and you need a change in your life, then it just means that you got to stop listening to your mind and listen to the mind of the person that is living the life that you want to live. It's just the same principles. And in order to display this discipline, it starts with two words: do it. It isn't I will, I am, I would, I should, I do. That's what you have to say. It should be I do. It should be do it. When your mind just starts ranting to you about, oh, you could do it later. Oh, you got this to do. Oh, why don't you just go home and play some games? Oh, we'll do this, then we'll go do that. Oh, like, no, it's do it now. And if remember, this not no delusion, no nothing. If you cannot do it right in that moment, do it when you have the chance. Do it when you get to your house. Do it when you get to a comfortable place. You can't like, of course, it's not gonna be just time. There's gonna be times where you can't just, oh, suddenly just spoof into your crib and all of a sudden you could do it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying do it when you get the chance. Walk into your crib, change your clothes, take that shower, and then go straight into work. Just do it. Eat your food and just do it while you eat. Be productive. Don't be scared off by the dark screen video. This whole video is full of a lot of information that will help you get rid of procrastination in your life and realize the cons of it and help you with some solutions to get rid of it for good. This is still about money making. It's just so that you can focus more on making money and pursuing your goals. That's the reason why I'm making this video. At the end of the video, there will be tons of tips in which I will let you know some concrete ways to get rid of procrastination. So, as a branch of passive procrastination, the perfectionist is someone who puts off tasks out of fear of not being able to complete a task perfectly. They often show procrastination in terms of underestimating how long a task will take. When they do this because they see the task, they'll take the task, they'll start it off, do it, then they might find some new components that they can add to it. They might outreach and find different things where they could add to the project or the assignment. And next thing you know, it just gets a whole bunch of over flooded. They're adding this, that, then time gets out of hand, and next thing you know, they got a late assignment or a due project or something like that. In order to stop something like this for a perfectionist, it is important that they schedule or give themselves a to-do list for what they are doing, because it could be very easy for perfectionists to get lost within time and within their task if they find it enjoyable. But making a to-do list will help them stay on track and get the assignment or the project done on time. Or if they're even doing something for themselves, this will also help them point themselves in the right direction throughout the duration of the task. As a perfectionist, they you could have ADHD or OCD. And in that case, you could easily get trapped within your own mind and and con- find yourself diving deeper and deeper into the task without even managing your time or taking a look around you. And if this is the case, then you could set up small alarms or reminders to ding you out of your state. Like, let's say at the span of every 5 to 10 minutes to just keep you active, but also keep you in the loop. That way you could know what the time is and keep yourself aware. Another thing that could cause a perfectionist to procrastinate is not knowing what needed to be done. This could harm a perfectionist because if a perfectionist does not know what needs to be done, they'll spend tons of time learning and studying what does need to be done before they even start off with the actual project, which could easily waste them a ton of time and cost them the assignment, the project, the task, time in their day. The biggest advice I could give to a perfectionist is that they should manage their time wisely, make to-do lists, put on little reminders, and really stay active with their time and with their awareness. And don't take more than you could chew. As for another strand of passive procrastination, a dreamer. A dreamer is someone who has big goals but no plan for success. They may enjoy making the ideal plan more than taking action. They are highly creative but find it hard to actually finish a task. A dreamer may get a lot of bursts of motivation, but they often end up wasted because let's say you got home from school. The previous day you wanted to work on a project or an idea to make money. You got home from school, you're feeling a little sleepy, you're hungry, so you eat your food, you take your shower, you put on your home clothes, and then you sit down. Next thing you know, you're on the game because you're chasing that dopamine. You don't you don't go and take that little burst of motivation that you got to play your game instead of going to sleep on the task that you wanted to do. You go and you chase that dopamine. It's Or you would start something and then give up. Like, let's say, for example, you start out with a little, let's say a project, you start out with a project and you're doing it, then you slowly realize, like, all right, this is getting a little bit more difficult. Let me take a break. Next, thing you know, that break turns into hours, then it just, you just don't do it. You don't come back to it. You just leave it alone. It stops right there. But that's just one of the problems of procrastination that a dreamer faces. Another one is time management. Like I said in an example previously, they'll come home and play that video game instead of doing the actual task. For time management with a dreamer, they'll rather do something that they find enjoyable and fun than do something that they actually need to pit themselves towards and require discipline for. Yep, we're back to that key word, discipline. They won't manage their time to suit a needed or required task. They won't even manage their time at all, maybe. Another thing that they face as procrastinators are that they overestimate how much motivation they will have in the future. And with dreamers, that burst of motivation comes and goes. So it's like they'll most likely rely more on that burst of motivation than them just pitting themselves onto something that they want to do and just walking it down. For the time management and the overestimation of motivation, one, they have to take away their bad habits. Because with bad habits like playing video games, doing drugs, those stuff will most likely deter you off of what you want to do. 100% will deter you off of what you want to do. So taking away those bad habits would leave you with much more free time, a clearer head, and the ability to do what you want. While with the overestimation of motivation, you shouldn't be trying to rely on the motivation that you get at burst. You should be trying to rely on your own self. What I mean by this is you should be able to trust yourself and love yourself enough that you can trust yourself at all times, that you will be able to do what you want, take care of these tasks. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video, do it now. I do. Those should be your principles. And because of that want for that burst of motivation, you will constantly be in a state where you think that you need the right state of mind. But there is no such thing as a right state of mind. As long as you're healthy, you're happy, you have that right state of mind. All you need to do is apply yourself to what you want to do. Nothing more, nothing less, until you come to the point where you could take it a step further. And as a procrastinating dreamer, you will most likely find yourself forgetting about a lot of things that you need to do. Like I said before, a dreamer would come home, play games instead of doing what they needed to do. And then they would forget. It becomes a cycle where you want to do something, then you forget about it, then you don't do it, then you remember, then you forget about it again because you didn't do it then. In order to stop that forgetting, we could go back to the perfectionist, where you could make a to-do list or a schedule or some reminders to remind yourself on what you need to do. Just take baby steps towards your goal. That way, you don't make it seem as if it's that much of a process. It'll help you stay more focused on the task rather than looking at the bigger picture, like you're skimming through a book, it's trying to see how much pages it has instead of just reading each page and seeing where it takes you. This is a warrior. This is a type of person that spans in between passive procrastination and active procrastination. As another strand of procrastination, a worrier. A worrier is someone who fears change, has a worst case scenario type of thinking, and resists risk taking. They may be anxious about the outcome of a task and may put it off to avoid the stress of not meeting their own expectations. Put shortly, a worrier is someone with a ton of self doubt. I'm gonna break this down in terms of procrastination. Now, let's say you're a basketball player or a football player, and you're trying out tennis, right? And you got some skill in tennis. Let's say you go and you're about to hit the ball, and you're at an angle where you could pretty much make the other team lose. And you like, damn, let me take the shot. But you could feel the doubt inside your head. You take that shot and then you hit it right towards the other person, to the person on the other side, instead of hitting it to a position where they would have lost the game. Now the doubt just continues to spread throughout the day, and who knows, you might end up losing the game or your teammate might carry. But the fact of the matter is that now let's say that person goes back and they're playing basketball. They're gonna feel 100% confident in their skills of playing basketball because they have played that so much and they know what they could do. Meanwhile, with tennis or soccer, they'll feel more doubt with it and less skilled with it, which will mess up their performance. It's the same way with procrastination. Let's say you're a warrior and you get an assignment. You see the assignment, and on the assignment, the information you're not familiar with, you haven't learned it in class, and you need to do some research. Now it's like you're reading through it, you're skimming through it, you see what you got to do, and the more you read, the more you're like, I don't know how to do this, and you're like, I had to do all this research, and you plan it in your head, and you just thinking it's like, damn, you got to do mad stuff. But in reality, if you were to break that up into small tasks, it wouldn't be as hard as it seems. But you're making it harder by doubting yourself. So next thing you know, you might not even do the assignment. You just accept the grade how it is. You accept the F and you just move on. Like, it's whatever. I don't care. I didn't know what to do, so I just didn't do it. It's a bad mentality. And in order to beat that self doubt, especially with tasks that you don't know, you need to take baby steps. You need to break up the task, make it smaller. That way, it won't be too much of an overload for yourself. And you'll be able to do it more efficiently and clearly as you go. You need to give yourself some confidence. Instead of saying, I can't, instead of saying, damn, and grimacing, you want to say, it's easy. Yo, I could do this actually for real. Oh, wait, this not that bad. And just change your mind, shape your mind for how you want it to be, not for how you have become to be. Because remember, your mind has gotten you up to this point, and now you want change. So you should be listening to them. mind of the person of how and who you want to be. As a warrior, you're more likely to waste a bunch of time because some warriors could differ could be different than others. Like let's say the example I just used right now. The warrior saw what they needed to do, decided that they didn't know how to do it, and then decided not to do it in succession. Other people could see it, not really care about it at the time, then check it later, and then put it down, and then not care about it, do what they want, come back, check it some more. Just wasting time. They seeing what the task is. They don't really want to do it. They know that they can't really do it that fast. So they just keep on putting it down, keep on putting it down, keep on putting it down. Next thing you know, it never gets done. It's there on their counter, or they play games. They get chip dust all over it, water, whoever, whatever else, soda. Just now, your teacher gonna look at you funny. Like your grade is bad for what? Because you decided not to do what you had to do. Now that we're done with passive procrastination, we will now move on to active procrastination, in which people actively procrastinate because they like the feeling of a challenge or pressure. As the first strand of an active procrastinator, we have a defier. The fire is someone that shows procrastination in terms of rebellion, lack of motivation, lack of control, fear of failure, and perfectionism. Now, let me break that down for you right now. All right. So, in terms of rebellion, the fires may procrastinate as a way of rebelling against authority figures or expectations. This may be displayed um, in terms of maybe like let's say your school staff or like I don't know some or your coach or a teacher or whatever, and you're just and they're annoying or whatever, and you don't like them, so you're not gonna do their work because they think they can control you, and you feeling that, and you got pride. You're a prideful individual. You feel me? So you're not gonna do what they want you to do. Now you got lack of motivation. The fires may not be motivated to complete a task if they don't see value in it or they don't enjoy it. With this, it's really a matter of applying yourself. Yeah, you mean like a lot of times people don't feel like doing things that they have to do, but we still end up doing them anyways because there's something that we have to do. Once we put it in our heads that we have to do something, we go on and we do it. But in terms of procrastination, even if we do it, we'll probably do it late. So in order to stop that with lack of motivation, you have to see the bigger picture. Look, something I like to do. You know what? Let's do it together. What I want you to do now is close your eyes. Whoever it is, just close your eyes, man. Just bear with me and do it real quick. All you have to do is just close your eyes and really just think about a goal that you want by the end of the year. If it's you could have three of them. Let's say three max. It could be academics. It could be money wise. It could be physique, family oriented, anything that you want. Just three goals from the for the end of the year, end of 2024. Let's say that you want. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say you're a student and you're a junior, or you're going to be a junior, and you want a 90 plus average so that way you could have freedom of college choice once you become a senior and a chance at scholarships, right? Or you're play a sport and you want a scholarship or you want to go D1, right? So now that you have that goal for the end of the year, you want to base everything you do around that. What I mean is, when you think about something or you get an assignment, you don't really want to do it. You got to think about that goal at the end of the year and be like, I want that 90 plus average, so I got to do this to keep my grade up. And then it's like, oh, I want to be D1, so I also got to keep my grades up and I got to be working hard. Everything that you do should be inspired by that one task that you have at the end of the year. That will give you your motivation that you desire, and it will also help you discipline yourself. Try it out, and you'll definitely see results. I won't give you a time span because it's up to your own mentality to really pursue that aspect of life. Take that chance. Okay, so for the next thing we have is lack of control. Defiers may procrastinate as a way of asserting control over their own time and schedule. Now, I'll give you an example for this too. Let's say your coach is being an asshole, you got bad grades, and he wants you to pick it up or show off the team, or he's gonna make you do like a tough workout or some shit, right? And it's like, so then you get pissed, you're already stressed out because of your grades already, and you get pissed too because of what he's saying. And you just decide, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm tired of them acting like they can control me. I'm not gonna do it. And since you're a prideful individual, you just you're just gonna stick up on that path, act hard headed, and not want to do what you gotta do, knowing that very well that you gotta do it and it's required, but you don't like feeling like you're not in control. In order to combat that, you need to humble yourself. Just push your pride. I'm not saying push it to the side because I can me personally, I can never push my pride all the way to the side, but I could allow it to spread apart for me and allow me to walk down a path that I will be proud of and happy of. I won't let it cloud my judgment, and I won't let it just take me by a leash and drag me. I'll keep it along my path though, along with the other aspects of myself that I hold dear to me. So you need to be humble. You can have pride, but you can be humble. You need to learn how to you need to learn when to advance and when to retreat. Once you do, life will probably get way more easier for you if you unlock that part of your mind. As a defier, you may put off tasks because you are afraid of failing or making mistakes. But I would be lying if I say I wasn't afraid of making mistakes sometimes, or that a lot of people, or that a lot of people don't feel fear of failure. It's fine to have fear, but you cannot let it control you because, in the terms of a defier, you lack control. You are afraid of lack of control, so you are prideful, extremely prideful. But then you are fearful of something that you say that you can't do. It doesn't make sense. You sound more like a hypocrite than someone with any type of morals. It would almost be laughable and even funny. A prideful person afraid of failure. What you need to do is not be afraid of fear, but embrace it. Let that fear push you to greater heights. Let that fear let you know that I want to do this thing. I could do this thing, but I'm scared. And then take your confidence and your pride and help it to push you to face that fear so you could grow to greater heights. And as for the last aspect of procrastination in the fire, it is called perfectionism. The fires may procrastinate because they want to do a task perfectly, but they don't feel like they have the time or resources to do so. Perfectionism can either make or break you, depending how you go about it. In terms of the fire, they could finally find something that they really want to do, but then they, something that they want to do that interests them, but because you have seemed to found something that you like, you'll want to take it a step further. Next thing you know, you going down a deep path where it's like you looking for more information, you adding more things, you doing this, that, the third, just a whole bunch. It's a stuff that doesn't need to really be done when you could just keep it simple, but get your point across. After all, nobody ever said working smart rather than harder was a bad thing. Use your brain. For the second strand of active procrastination, we have crisis maker. They often put off tasks because they like working under pressure. Let me say something. If you get something that you have to do, the due date is in 3 days. Why would you wait 3 days and the whole day waiting until you got 5 hours left, 2 hours left to do the thing that you were supposed to do within this 3 day period? They give you 3 days for a reason. Most of the time, they give you that span for a reason. So you doing the task at the last minute, even though you probably can, it's still stupid. It's just very dumb. You not ready to actually like maybe you could have been doing research over those 3 days, but then now is the time you actually got to do it, and you wasted the whole day. Now you got an hour, 2 hours left. Next, thing you know, it's harder than it actually seems, or you may be able to actually do it. That's not that's not the reason I'm saying this. The reason I'm saying this because it's dumb no matter what. Why wait for a span of time for no reason when you could just do it right away, get it over with, and not have to stress about it again until the next assignment? I hope you get what I'm getting at. But some factors of procrastination in a crisis maker are thrill seeking, lack of motivation, again, and poor time management. With thrill seeking, crisis makers may procrastinate because they enjoy the adrenaline rush of working under pressure. That working under pressure thing is good, but like I said before, if you want to work under pressure but have a long-term goal in mind, that's way more smarter. Because think about it. You work under the pressure of something that you have to accomplish at the end of the year, instead of working under pressure under the thing that you have to accomplish in a day or two. It's just way better thinking and it's at a broader aspect. As for the lack of motivation, again, all you gotta do is apply yourself. You want to apply yourself to your goal. Stop thinking of it as a thing that you need momentary pleasure and motivation to actually pursue what you want. That's not the case. You could really do it when you want to, whenever you need to, and get it over with. Think about it. Your dopamine receptors go off when you feel a sense of satisfaction. So you not feeling like wanting to do something but doing it anyways would give you that satisfaction, that dopamine that you would get from playing your games or doing whatever you would want to do that you're not doing because you're procrastinating. You understand what I'm saying? You're procrastinating, doing your games and whatever else you're doing, getting that dopamine from there instead of getting a more sustaining sense of dopamine from doing something that actually matters. When you play a game or you do drugs, the dopamine is there, but it skyrockets and then it drops back down below what the baseline even was. When you do something that is satisfactory and is more sustaining, that baseline goes higher. So now you got a higher baseline that you could go up to and you do go up to. But then that all stops once you smoke or once you go and play some games. It stops, then it might decrease again. But when you do something that's satisfactory that you have to force yourself to do, it goes down a little bit, it dips a little bit, but then it goes back up and it goes even higher than before. Don't let the trends fool you. Do what you should be doing so that you can live the life that you want to live. And for the last aspect of procrastination and crisis maker, it is poor time management. A lot of people struggle with this, with or without procrastinating. Maybe it's getting to go somewhere, or it's buying some groceries, or something like, or starting a business, or starting to make money, or applying for jobs, something like that. You end up just doing other things, and I've seen it a lot in adults where it's like they'll act like they got time, but every minute is a rush. Like, you ever see your parents just laze around the whole day, and then when something just pops up and they gotta do something, they start acting like they gotta it's the greatest thing in the world. Like, they gotta be rushing for everything. They start moving like they rushing while they're just doing the same thing they would have been doing if they were moving more calmly. You get what I'm saying? Like, and they start yelling and stuff or that. Like, that's what I really seen in adults where it's like every moment, like it's like every moment where they gotta do something is a rush instead of going with the process and doing what they gotta do. It wouldn't feel like a rush. It wouldn't be a rush if they were on time, if they were doing what they were supposed to be doing during that time that they were supposed to be getting ready or getting prepared to go to that certain thing or do some that certain thing. It's the same way for you too. Why do something? Why have an overlapping thought where it's like, I gotta do this, but then do something else. Forget about the thing that you need to do. Then remember it later on in the day, and suddenly it's 8 o'clock. It's too late. It's dinner time. Let me go eat my dinner and go to sleep. Like, and who knows? You might even stay up until 12 in the night and not do that thing, and then regret it the next day when it's due. Everybody turned it in, but you. The teacher come up to you and embarrass you in the class. Like, you feel me? It's crazy. There's no point in wasting your time because it's your time that you're wasting. For our last and final strand of procrastination, we have overdoers. They take on too much stuff at once, and then they struggle on finding time to start one task or another task because they take on too much at one time. You got a lot of people like this that might be even people pleasers, take on a lot of the office tasks or whatever, and then next thing you know, nothing getting done. They're stressed, tired, sleepy, just living hard times because they're taking on more than they can chew. As an overdoer, lack of motivation could be there, but it's because of you have too much motivation when you're first starting. Then you just take too much at once. And then as you go on and see the amount of tasks that you have taken on and your responsibility that you have taken on, your motivation starts to dwindle more and more. And then it's like poor time management also is there. Because it's like, how can you manage your time and also have so much tasks? When can you find the time to eat and the time to take breaks when you have so much things to do? Not to mention that a lot of overdoers suffer from perfectionism, especially. I'm saying suffer. Listen closely. I'm saying suffer because if you're taking on so much things and you want to be a perfectionist too, is that not the same thing as suffering? You're literally forcing yourself to get everything that you take on completely and totally correct while also taking on 5, 10 tasks at once. You're setting yourself up for failure. And you might even be the smartest person in the room, but this won't reflect it at all. This will show stupidity and fucking dumbness. Do better. Overdoers, there's not too much I gotta pinpoint. Overdoers is as clear as day. They take on too much, they do too much that they can handle. They bite off more they could chew, and next thing you know, they choke. And that becomes the bane of their existence, the bane of what they're trying to do and become. You have to take it slow. You have I'm not saying you gotta be slower than everybody else. I'm saying you go at a pace that is just right. You could take on more tasks, obviously. You got a bigger capacity. That's why you would take on a lot of tasks in the first place. But with a due date connected to stuff like that, it becomes harder and harder. So what is required is to just take it slow. You can scale up once you get comfortable. But when you just starting out, when you just want to do something just nice, easy, quickly, just chill. Take it slow. Take it easy. That's all I gotta say for overdoers. And now I will give you a summary as well as some complimentary tips to take along with you on your journey to stop procrastinating. If you have found any worth within the video so far, please don't hesitate to leave a like or subscribe. And if you want to hear anything in my next video that might interest you, just comment. I got you. Okay, so as I said earlier in the video, you should be making a to-do list. It don't matter what type of procrastinator you are. Most of the time, it really comes down to writing down what you need to do. For most of us, we are the type of people where we need down a list or something of a sort that would keep us on track as procrastinators. Um, so making a to-do list is very important. Earlier in the video, it's important to take baby steps. You want to break down some things for a task so that you can make it more manageable so it don't feel as overwhelming as it would have if you had it as like just one full thing, one full task. It makes it easier to process and it helps you just stay on track as you do the task and mind your duration, meaning manage your time. Pay attention because this tip is extremely important. If you ever find yourself just in the midst of trying to think about a plan for a task or getting a new task and you just find yourself with doubt in your mind or uh thinking like, oh, I should do it later instead of do it now, instead of I do, then what you should do, what you have to do, and remember, this is a part of the discipline. You have to stop yourself. You have to resist the urge to procrastinate. If you like, if you begin to feel yourself thinking about procrastinating or you start to procrastinate, just drop whatever you're doing and force yourself to spend a few minutes working on your task. That's the best advice I could give you to create discipline and start moving away from the life of procrastination. Remember when I first mentioned discipline in this video and how I said it's good for you to get rid of your distractions and bad habits? This is what I meant. You want to find things that just draw your attention away from you all the time. Like, think about it. You on social media all the time, watching other people live the life that you want to live. Rewatch that if you need to hear it again. You're pretty much watching other people live your fantasy. For what? For no reason. For just to waste your time. There's nothing good coming out of that. You don't need the TV on 24/7. I'm not saying deprive yourself of all satisfactions of life. I'm saying grind until you can comfortably enjoy every satisfaction of life, not just the ones that are available to you. I mean, to the point where you don't need anything. Your need for stuff is gone because you have it all. That's the fantasy of everybody. That should be the fantasy of everybody. Kill off all laziness in your life. And this is just step one. Don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back. Don't be ashamed to pat yourself on the back. When you do something that uh, is satisfactory, that you have to force yourself kind of to do, and now that you're feeling your dopamine receptors go off and you feel that you just did something good for yourself, you might not even feel it the same way that you do if you win a game or a match in a game or something like that, but you still feel something there and it's rewarding. So reward yourself. Me personally, I don't like to eat until I finish my task that I did. Feel me? Because for me, if I eat, I'm gonna eat a big meal. So it's like that's my congratulations, that's my reward to myself. It depends on what it is. I'm not saying deprive yourself or go on a diet or nothing like that. I'm just saying that's my personal way to congratulate myself or pat myself on the back. And even if I do eat, I'm gonna say to myself and be like, and be a yes, like I'm gonna be like, I did that. I'm that guy. You feel me? Like I got to. You feel me? Pause, but give yourself some self glazing. That's just crazy. And don't think that this is a conversion from a money making channel to a health channel. I was always planning on being a little bit of both because both those aspects are detrimental to making money and to living good. You make money so you can live good. You make money because you want the peace, the prosperity, the freedom, the happiness, right? But that's not the end of it. For peace, prosperity, and happiness, prosperity, one of them with the money. But the rest of them, that's not going to be only sold by money. You still got the lust, you still want the girls, you still want, who knows, drugs maybe, but it's not the time for that. I picked this video here because procrastination is such a deep and dark place for a lot of people today, my age and even older. It's such a large topic that does not get speaked about as much as it should. And it's just like, I hate to see it. What's the point of procrastinating when you could be pursuing what you want, when you can potentially have it all instead of seeing other people have it all? Procrastination is the bane of humans, is the bane of productivity, is the bane of fantasy and dreams. I wish it never existed, but it does. And so you just need to find a way to make sure that you are secure within your own mind, within your own being. Because first leaves procrastination, and then comes whatever else you want, whatever other goals you want, whatever you want to pursue. If you want to make money, lose the lies. And I'm not talking about lies to other people, I'm talking about lies to yourself. And if you made it to this point, this is the highlight of this video. Procrastination is pretty much you lying to yourself. Imagine you standing in front of a mirror image of yourself and you're saying, oh, you have to go pick up these groceries. No, you have to go and make money. Your family's struggling. You need the money. You need to be able to provide for them. And then it says, okay, it looks you dead in your eyes. It says, okay, it nods. It promises you. It assures you that it will do what it said it will do. That you said that you will do that, what you would do. And then later in that day, you walk into your room, and there you are. You're playing games. And there you are. You're laying down scrolling through TikTok, through Instagram. You just lied to yourself. And there ain't no hint of your computer being on, ain't no hint of your desktop being on no motivational videos, on no money making methods, nothing being put into play. You watched this video and you watched at this point for a reason. I did not lie to you not one time. I broke it down for you the whole way through. I doubt a lot of you guys will see the end of this video. I hope a lot of you do. Hope millions and even thousands of you guys see the end of this video so that you can realize this is the way to go. This is what you need to do. Leave the laziness in the past, and God will give you a way to the future. Safety. Don't be afraid to click that button. And if you really want to start making money, go to my last video. Thank you. Safety.